What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 2 and we're starting today's episode off on the back of our opening day draw with Liverpool. Jesse Lingard rescuing us in the final 10 minutes in a 2-2 draw against Jurgen Klopp's side. You know we're going to take that on the opening day. With two more bids here, one for Sergio Aurier from Dortmund and one from Ryan Yates from Wolfsburg. Of course, turned them both down and blocked the offer for Yates. Now, of course, I discussed in the last episode, in terms of transfers, I'll briefly touch on it in today's episode as well. We do want to keep it realistic, you know, we want to make sure the first season is very realistic in terms of transfers. So far, just the one sign, and that is Jayden Bogle coming in from Sheffield United. Ryan Yates through the academy, he's going to be playing some big minutes this season for us through the middle of the park. And as for Sergio Aurier, well, he's just signed. He signed like 3 weeks ago, so of course he'll be staying. We have signed Jayden Bogle, and we've got Nico Williams in as well, but I won't be selling Sergio Aurier in the first transfer window for realism. Still, first game of today's episode, first away day, travelling to West London, taking on now Graham Potter's Chelsea. And talking to new signings, how must Aubameyang feel? Yeah, the former Barcelona, Arsenal, Dortmund, St Etienne forward opening the scoring for the Blues. He signed for Thomas Tuchel, and then Thomas Tuchel was replaced with Graham Potter, but he's clearly happy to play under the former Brighton manager in the save. Opens the scoring, makes it 1-0. We would respond, Frila in from Atalanta, making it 1-1, giving us our leveller soon after falling behind, but this was a game where I guess my worst fears to start the season came true and showed me that I was right. I think we're going to score a lot of goals this season, I do. The board said to us on the pitch this year, we need to be in the top 10 for goals scored. I think we can do that, but on the other end of the pitch, defensively, yeah, we conceded 2 on the opening day to Liverpool, and we now conceded 3 away in West London at the Bridge. Hakim Ziyech makes it 3-1 after Mason Mount restored the lead right before the break, and this reaction said it all. Yeah, last year in FIFA 22, we discussed it at length. You know, the games were goal gluts so often, and I think FIFA 23 is going to be the exact same as well. Scoring goals, yeah, you'll be able to put the ball in the back of the net quite frequently, but keeping the ball out of the back of the net is going to be very tough. Had it not been for Dean there on the stroke of the hour mark, it could have been 4-1 down. We were still trailing by 2. We were getting chances on the other end, particularly on the counter. Lovely little two-man break between Emmanuel Dennis and Brennan Johnson. And man, oh man, we talked about him in the last episode. Keep your eyes on this young man. Local lad, now represents Wales on the international stage. 2 goals in the Premier League in real life. 2 goals in the Premier League in 2 games in the save. Yep, 3-2, and we're back in the game once again. So showing some resilience. We're going to need that this season if we are to stay up. But unfortunately, whilst going forward, we were creating chances, we were getting shots, we were scoring goals. On the other end, I just cannot keep the ball out of the back of the net. Yep, 15 minutes to go, and Jorginho squirms one home at the near post. The Italian makes it 4-2. As I thought Henderson could have done a little bit better there in the near post, couldn't do so. It's 4-2. Chelsea restored their 2-goal cushion. And again, I was getting chances. I was getting plenty of chances. Brennan Johnson hitting the post here, 7 minutes to go, but every single time Chelsea came forward, I mean, it was just like, it was just a case of how many more goals are they going to score. You know, not can I salvage a point, but how many more goals are they going to score. 5 minutes on the clock. Ben Chilwell, former Fox, gets inside down the left. Lovely piece of skill, to be fair. And once again, Henderson beaten at his near post. Final score at the Bridge, Chelsea 5, Nottingham Forest 2. And for Graham Potter coming in for Thomas Tuchel, I have to say, big call from Chelsea to sack Thomas Tuchel, winning them the Champions League, of course, back in 2021. Obviously coming in, you know, he had a really impressive start, replacing club legend Frank Lampard. But it is true, you know, stumbling out the blocks a little bit this season. Lots of money getting spent in the summer transfer window. It is a bit of a strange one when you think about it. You know, all the money that Chelsea spent in this summer window, all the new signings, Sterling, Koulibaly, Cucurella and so on, you know, to then sack the manager a few games in. You know, I talk about it a lot. I think sometimes boards and the powers that be can be a little bit trigger happy at times and not willing to let the season play out. But Graham Potter coming in, I am excited to see how we get on at Chelsea. You know, I really, really am. And I hope hope he gets given a time at Chelsea. I think it's a gamble for both Chelsea and Potter himself, leaving a project like Brighton where he's done so well. But pleased to see him get given a chance, and I hope he succeeds there in West London. Still 5-2 the final score, and it does beg the question, do we need to make yet more new signings? Yeah. I mean, we've brought in Jayden Bogle, so far our only signing of the season, but do we need even more strength? Do we need even more players coming in? Because, I mean, that's 7 goals conceded in 2, and to start the season off, no wins in our opening 2 games. Okay, Liverpool at home and Chelsea away, tough fixtures, yes of course, but 1 point picked up from 6 and 7 goals conceded in 2. That's not the sort of form that's going to keep you in the Premier League. So I guess the question is, do we make new signings? I mean, we've got the money. We certainly got the money. We certainly got the money to bring in 1 or 2 more decent players for the first team squad, if not in the first 11 on a regular basis, coming off the bench. But do we do that? Now, we signed over 20 players, you know, combined the 1 signing I made and the players that Forest had signed prior to me coming in. But do I need to make even more signings? Do I need to bring in even more players? I mean, really? With all the change in this summer window, it's a tough decision, that. Do we keep the money? Do we invest in the global transfer network scouting? Or do we bring in new signings? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I did get my first win under my belt in midweek here. Yeah, taking on Reading, the Royals at Medeski Stadium. Carabao Cup second round. We won't care about the Carabao Cup unless we go far. Yeah, the EFL Cup is not going to be important to me whatsoever unless we get to the quarters or the semis. In the first round we enter, well, you would have seen here, we'll take it 1 game at a time but focus more on the next game, which is a much bigger one in the Premier League. A good cup run is always nice for a team that is struggling. You know, everyone talks about it. It's a welcome distraction from the league form, but with Nottingham Forest, my goal is simple. Stay in the Premier League. Stay in the Premier League at all costs. So in the EFL Cup, you saw my lineup there against the Royals, and, you know, we're heading into the next round. It will still be a weakened side. I won't take it seriously until we get to the latter round. So third and final game, heading into this one, turned out a bit of Harry Arter. Once again, not a realist destination, and this was massive. Lost the last Premier League game away at Stamford Bridge, but now returning home on the back of my first win as Forest manager, AFC Bournemouth. Yep, Scott Parker replaced so early on into the season. Crazy to think we've already seen 2 managerial replacements so early on to the Premier League campaign. Taking on the Cherries, finished runners-up in the Championship last year, newly promoted with us. Talk about your early season relegation 6-point battles. And 4 minutes in, get in into first goal in Forest colours for Taiwo in our new number 9 from Union Berlin in the summer. And it was so funny because it reminded me of the goal he scored in real life. His first goal came against West Ham and he scuffed it. He scuffed it in from like 4 yards out after, I think it was a deflected Jesse Lingard ball. And it was kind of similar here. Johnson plays it across the face of the 6-yard area from about 4 or 5 yards out. Taiwo simply could not miss. Yep, Taiwo tapping. That's going to be his nickname. Makes it 1-0 and Forest have the lead. But I was thinking, okay, we know what happened in real life when these two met at the City ground. Forest were leading by 2 at the break and then lost it 3-2. Absolutely bottled it. So I thought in the second half, I've got to be strong defensively, play some lockdown defense. You know, that's hard for me to do on FIFA nowadays. My defense is my Achilles heel, but Henderson bailed me out once. But other than that, my defense was really good. Didn't give Bournemouth a sniff. Continued to still lead by a goal. And with 10 minutes to go on the break, Freuler holds it up, rolls it through, and who's there to turn in from close range? Brennan Johnson. 2-0, Nottingham Forest. And the young star is asserting himself already. 3-in-3 for the local lad from Nottingham. Brennan Johnson wraps it up with the dagger. Forest 2, Bournemouth 0. And unlike in the game we saw so recently in real life, there was never going to be enough time for Bournemouth to complete the epic comeback and win it 3-2. Instead, we almost bagged a third goal ourselves. Niakate denied his first for the club, but we didn't mind we couldn't score a third because a 2-0 scoreline this time was held on to against the Cherries. First win in the Premier League this season, first clean sheet with Forest. 2-0 in a big relegation 6-pointer. Taiwo's first of the season, a tap-in. Taiwo tap-in, you love to see it. And Brennan Johnson, the young star, saying, Gaffer, keep the money in the budget. I've got us this season. The kid, once again, my main man, buzzing with a big win in a relegation 6-pointer so early on to the season. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode featuring transfer deadline day, where we still might make some signings very soon.